Welcome to Subconsciously Taken, fool.
Hello, how y'all doing? I hope everybody's doing good. I hope y'all family's doing as well. Well, this is the month of Halloween. I want to tell y'all some strange things that happened to me when I was young. When I was 8 years old, I used to live with my grandmother. Well, she's the one that raised me. But anyway, where we went to bed at, my grandmother's room was right next to us. And in the doorway, we had curtains that draped down between our room and her room. And in our room where we were at, she had an altar there where she'd pray and stuff, saints and candles and all that. And it was like catty corner. And right next to it, there's the doorway. Like I said, the drapes go down, they hang. One night, I thought my grandmother was walking. I seen somebody walk by where the doorway was at. And I said, Grandma, is that you? And this whatever it was walking by was all in white. And it had like a hood over it. And when I said, Grandma, is that you? It turned and it looked to my direction. And you couldn't see nothing because it was all dark. But you could see the white line where the hood went and the gown. And those times we had the window open so we can get air. And we had the fan there, and we didn't have the fan on that time. And you could hear crickets, frogs, you could hear all that. But when I started talking, everything went to a dead silence. You couldn't hear crickets, the frogs, you couldn't hear nothing. And it just turned and it just looked at me. And I say looked at me, even though I couldn't see a face, it was like it's walking this way, and all of a sudden it just turns this way, and you don't see nothing. It's dark. So anyway, in the morning, my grandmother, she asked me, she goes, did you call me last night? And I told her, I said, Grandma, I thought I seen you walking by the door, and I was asking to see if that was you. You didn't answer me. And she says, no, it wasn't me. I heard you, but I was more asleep than I was awake. And I said, she goes, well, what did you see? And I told her exactly what I saw. I saw somebody in white walking down across the doorway. They had looked like a white hood with a gown. And she goes, no, it wasn't me. But she was amazed. She was amazed because she says, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not trying to scare you. But your dad at your age saw the same thing. And it kind of freaked me out. And I looked at her like, and I told her for real. And she goes, yeah, it happened. And she said, it's just weird that you saw the same thing he saw. And they used to live in another town. It wasn't the same house. And I thought that was weird, but she told me too. She said, yeah, that was your dad saw the same thing. Anyway, that's one thing that happened to me when I was young, and it's strange. Another time, But this time I was sick. I guess I had a fever or whatever. But I had a dream that I would I was laying down, and I would drag myself, fall off the bed, and go to a door where I try to open the door. But every time I would go up there and reach out to open that door, I would find myself back in bed doing this. So that happened to me about 3 times as far as the dreams. And I could never get to the other side of that door. I don't know why I had that dream, but it was just something that it freaked me out. So anyway, I'm gonna tell you of another dream. And these stories, they're probably a little short here and there because I'm just telling you what I thought was weird when I was growing up. I had another dream. Only this dream I had 3 times. 3 times I had this dream. I'm in the dining room. My grandmother's getting everything ready for us to eat, and she's standing up. And I'm looking under the table, and I see a skeleton squatted down, just looking at me. And I look at it, and I start pulling my grandmother's dress so she could, and I was pointing, and that skeleton just kept looking at me. And then the skeleton gets his hand, touches his mouth, and then touches my forehead. I had that dream 3 times, and it was weird. There was another time I had another dream. In this dream, I'm dreaming that the doorway in the frame itself, there's fire. And I'm trying to call my grandmother. Something came from behind me, and I mean slapped me hard, kept slapping me and slapping me. And I woke up. I might have been slapping myself, but my mouth was red, and it you could just see that something was hitting me. Like I said, I might have been slapping myself. But anyway, that was another thing that was scary. And another scary time that happened to me, I woke up in the middle of the night. I was going to the bathroom. And believe it or not, somebody was trying to break in. Somebody was trying to break in because the way the house was, from our room, our bathroom's just around the corner. And I happened to get up, and I was going to the bathroom, but I happened to look, the kitchen was right there. And I seen somebody trying to open the window. Man, it scared me. I kept calling my grandfather. My grandfather told me, go to bed. You know, he says, just go to bed. Ain't nobody. And in the morning, he tells me, he goes, did you call me last night? And I go, yeah, somebody was trying to get in the house. And then he tells me, how come I didn't wake him up? I told him I did. You told me to go to bed. Don't worry about it. You know? And it was just funny. And then he kind of like laughed. But we went to go look. And there was a crate there where they were trying to get up on top to get into the window. But I scared them off. I guess we scared each other. He took off because he seen that I seen him. And they just didn't break in, so that was a good thing. All right, now I'm gonna get into something that happened to me and a friend of mine and his cousin. And I was 16 years old at that time. And we I stayed at my friend's. They had a farm, a small one, and I stayed out there with them a lot of times. And this time we were talking about going coon hunting. So I said, all right, we'll go coon hunting. Grab the rifle, grab the pistol, and let's go. Me, him, and his cousin. And we were gonna go. I told him, well, let's go to the well, because over there by the well there's a creek, and where the creek's at, there's a well on the other side of the creek. It's just an old well. Anyway, I said, hey, well, why don't we go there? We'll look to see if we find any coons, and we'll just go visit that well that's out there. And he says, all right, we'll do that. So it was a plan. So anyway, this well is probably like maybe about a mile and a half away from his farm. And we went walking. So we go, right when we get to the creek. Now, I'm going to tell you, the road, it curves. Okay? On this side of the creek, we stop, and we see some posters, and we start shooting at the posters and stuff. And anyway, we after we did that, we went in the woods. We must have went about, I want to say maybe 30, 40 feet in. And we went, this is before the creek. We went in, and we passed by this big old tree. No, big old tree, you know, and we just looked at it, and we just kept walking. And we were probably maybe about, I'll say 20 feet away from that tree. And we were talking and just, you know, talking a bunch of mess. But anyway, we finally said, hey, well, let's go to the well. And we said, all right, let's go. So we started to head back to the street, to the road. Now the road, let me tell you about the road. The road it was a dirt road back then. It's pavement now. But it used to be a dirt road. And it was narrow. Only 2 cars go by. And anyway, we started walking back towards the street, and we passed by that same tree that we saw when we were coming in. Only this time the tree was laying down. Like it fell. And we didn't even hear it fall. So we're looking at it like, hey, this tree was standing up. How come now it's laying down? And then my friend, well, I don't know. We didn't even hear it fall. And me and my friend started looking around, and his cousin, and there's 2 hoof prints right in front of that tree. But there's no scratches on the tree where, you know, like if, you know, I don't even know if there's a deer that strong that can push it down. But anyway, we looked, and there's 2 hoof prints. We said maybe it was a deer, and we looked around. There was no more hoof prints or nothing. It was just those 2. So anyway, we just said, okay, well, let's just go to the well. So we get to the road. We start walking. We cross the creek. And believe it or not, the creek's the name of the creek is it's called the Bogey Creek or Bobby Creek or something like that. But anyway, we cross over, and probably like, I want to say maybe 40 feet away from the creek, we had to go in to the other side. The creek ran like this. When we came in, we went on this side. Now we're crossing over the creek and going on the other way. So anyway, maybe about 40 feet away from the creek, we go in. We go maybe about, I want to say maybe about 25 yards in. And the way we could find this well, because it was dark. We only had one flashlight, and it was dark. And the way we could find the well is because there's a big old creepy tree that's there, a big one. And right under that tree, there's the well. It's made out of cement. It's all cement. It's probably about like maybe 3 feet high. And anyway, we finally find it because we were looking for it. And we get that one flashlight that we have. We get it, turn it on, and we look on the walls on the inside of the well, full of spiders. I mean, full of spiders all the way around in there. So we're looking down, and we see a barrel sticking out, like a, I want to say a shotgun barrel, but it was a barrel of a rifle, you know. And like I said, it was probably like maybe, I want to say 20 feet down. But you could see people throwing trash in there, and you could see a barrel sticking out. And I told my friend, man, I would like to see what kind of rifle that is, or what is it, if it's all there or not, you know. And we started thinking, like, how can we get it out? And my friend was saying, well, first thing we got to do is we got to throw a gas bomb in there to burn all these spiders off, you know. That way we can crawl in there and climb in there and get that barrel out, see what it is. And anyway, but we didn't have none of that stuff with us anyway, so we just started like hollering in there. You know, we go, hey! You know, we kept yelling in there. All of a sudden, I heard something like something say, over here, or come here. One of those two is what it sounded like. But I didn't say nothing. I didn't tell my friend or his cousin anything, because you know how it is. You tell them something like that and they'll start messing with you, you know. So we yelled again. This time I looked at them and it said it again, over here or come here. And I looked at them and I go, you heard something, huh? And my friend says, yeah. And his cousin says, yeah. I said, I'll tell you what. I told my friend, me and you, we'll go over here. We'll tell each other what we heard. And then we asked his cousin what he heard. So me and my friend, we did hear the same thing. It was a female voice that said, over here or come here. And then we asked his cousin, what did you hear? Just say it. And he said the same thing. And we were like, okay. And we yelled again, and it did it again. It said, over here or come here. Man, after that, I grabbed the rifle on tight. My friend had his pistol, and we started heading out of there and hitting the road. Once we got to the road, it's like we forgot all about the flashlight. It was dark. And that night, there was a full moon. But the way the road went and the trees were covering the moonlight, it was dark. I mean, it was dark. And as soon as we got to the road, we started walking. We could hear something following us. I mean, something breaking branches, and you can hear it getting closer and closer, and we were just moving faster and faster. When we got to the road and we started crossing over that creek, we heard like something made a big splash in the creek. And then as we crossed over, something like came out of there. I don't know, we could hear like the water just psh, and all of a sudden it started breaking branches on the other side. So man, we're trying to hurry up and get out of there. And we go to a spot right before we went through that curve. We call it the gravel pits. You know, that's where I guess they're doing construction or they're doing something. But anyway, we call it the gravel pits. So it's a big clearing area. It's all clear. And we get out of there and we turned around and we started watching over there where it was. We could hear the branches breaking and stuff. But once we got to the clearing, it stopped. It stopped following us. Whatever it wasn't following us no more. So we headed back to the farm to talk about what we experienced that night. And me and my friend were talking about, like, man, ain't that strange that the tree was laying down and then the point of that tree was pointing towards where the well was at. In other words, it fell towards the well where we were going to go to. And then there was 2 hoof prints. We didn't understand why the 2 hoof prints was there and there was no other sets. That was it, only 2. So me and my friend started talking, and we said, you know what? We're going to go over there tomorrow night, the same time. We'll do the same thing over again and see what happens. And this time we're going to face up to whatever it is. And my friend said, yeah, we'll do that. And his cousin was supposed to go with us the next night. But his cousin said, nah, I ain't going because I got to go with your brother. We're going out. And we said, oh, man, come on. You scared, ain't you? It scared you yesterday. You don't want to go. He goes, nah, man, it's just that I already told your brother I was going to go with him. And I go, yeah, but you told us you were going to go with us when we were going over there. He goes, yeah, but I'm going to go with your brother. So anyway, we said, all right. So me and my friend went. We did the same thing we did the night before. We didn't see nothing. We didn't hear nothing. And we hollered in the well. I mean, we hollered and nothing happened. There was nobody saying, we didn't hear no female voice or nothing. And then my friend started saying, you know what? I think something's attached to my cousin. Because ain't that weird that we're over here, we're hollering and everything, nothing's happening at all. And he's the only one that's not with us. But then again, it could be maybe he needed to be with us for it to happen again. But anyway, that's what happened that day. And it like I said, it was strange. We couldn't explain some of the stuff that was going on. But, oh yeah, we did take the horse with us. We took the horse with us. So it was me, my friend, and the horse. So anyway, that's what happened. Those are the strange things that happened in my life, you know. There's other things too, but, you know, I'll save that for some other time. And I know this video is kind of long, but just remember, we all create our own hell by the choices we make in life. God loves you. Peace out.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. It's all up to you. Bye-bye and God bless.